They were felt good the last 2 days. So I don't never really know how it's going to feel until I wake up the next morning. But I was encouraged by the last couple of days for sure.
What is the next step for you in terms of being fully cleared with your wrist? Or are you?
I guess that's a good question. I think I'm fully cleared for everything other than contact right now. That'll come in the next month probably, but it's no rush. Season doesn't start for a while, so we're in a good spot.
What's been the biggest challenge or challenges with this injury recovering from it?
The uncertainty. Whenever you have an injury to your throwing side, you're never quite sure how it's going to turn out at the end, but I'm in a good spot. I'm happy with where I'm at, and I'm going to continue to get better.
How much?
Go ahead.
How much muscle mass have you put on? I mean, how much weight you've been not only rehabbing, you've been working out. How much bigger are your muscle mass? Right?
Yeah, we're bigger. Definitely bigger. We'll see where I'm at the end of the offseason. I feel good about where my body is at right now. I'm going to continue to get stronger and bigger throughout the offseason and just kind of play it by ear depending on how I feel. Like I said, I'm in a good spot right now. I'm really strong, bigger than I was. We're going to continue to eat right, lift, and go through my routine and see where I'm at.
So mechanically, you look pretty good. Is that how would you describe the mechanics right now?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. We've been throwing for about a month. So just like any offseason, you're working through some rust, a little more this year than in years past. But, I'm still working through everything, footwork, arm path, the little intricacies of the throwing motion. That's something that I'm working through every day, and I'm going to continue to hone and improve at.
Was it easier to keep those mechanics intact, given that it wasn't a lower body thing?
Yeah, I was definitely able to continue to work on my footwork, but it's always tough to work on that for me when you don't see the results being the throw. So you can do all that, and that's great, but you never really know how it's going to work out until you get the ball in your hand.
When did you start throwing, Joe, and what was the build-up to that like?
Yeah, it was about a month ago. That would have been the beginning of April, so somewhere around there. It was, this was a difficult injury. It's been a tough several months, but physically, it's not the worst injury that I've had. I've been through much tougher things physically, and so that's been a positive. I've been able to really lift and continue my off-season program kind of the way that it always has been. By the time that came around, I was pretty much able to lift and do everything that I needed to in the weight room and conditioning-wise. So, physically and conditioning-wise, I feel really good.
Every quarterback takes hits. Can being bigger and stronger help you when you inevitably take some hits this year?
I don't know. That's what we're going to find out. That's kind of a work in progress of somebody's career. You're always growing and learning, and I'm trying something new this year, so we'll see how I feel when the season rolls around, when camp rolls around, when we're on the field every day. But I don't know the answer to that. We're going to find out.
When you're going on here, when you're trying to feel these practices, what are you looking at the field, or what are you kind of gauging as you go through your prep on whether it was good or bad?
Yeah, trying to focus on the little things that I've been working on. Just like every offseason, I'm working through mechanics, things that I'm tweaking and honing, just like every year. And so I'm focused on that to try to optimize and make my throwing motion and my footwork as efficient as I can. That's no different than any other year.
This off-platform stuff is great. You really want to see how you did that last year. That's something that's going to play benefits for you.
Yeah, I'm always going to continue to focus on that. That's an area of my game that I always feel like I can improve. So that's I haven't been able to do a ton of that because that's kind of, I've been able to do it with my legs, but that's kind of what we're starting now is the off-platform stuff because that's kind of more wrist involvement than I would say just standing in the pocket and throwing with perfect fundamentals. So that's kind of the next step for me to continue to improve.
The offense looks different every year with the moves that were made, the group that's now assembled. What's your initial assessment, Joe?
I feel good about all the guys we brought in, offense and defense. We brought in the right kind of guys, good players, guys that we played against in the past that, we've had experience with, that we know what they have out there. So, and then we'll see what the rookies have when they come in. It's always nice when those guys get into the building and you can start to really build that team culture and integrate those guys into it. So I'm excited about where the team's at.
We saw you chat with Mike Gesicki and some of the other tight ends out there today. How much of a focal point is it to get on the same page as them this part of the year?
Yeah, that's creating a dialogue with the new guys is always something that I'm focused on. You know, Tanner's out there, Drew's out there, and Mike is out there. Those are, you know, I have a lot of reps invested with Drew, so we have that dialogue. And Tanner and Mike, they're kind of, you know, Tanner played some last year and played really well in spots, but this is really the first full off season of him, and then Mike coming in. We have guys we feel really good about it, so I'm going to continue to build the dialogue with those guys so we can earn that trust, and hopefully that translates to on-field success.
What changes have you made diet-wise or program-wise to get bigger, to get stronger, like you said?
Yeah, eating more, you know, I'm more dialed as far as nutrition and food schedule and eating when I need to. So that's been a big area of emphasis for me, and I've seen the results.
I know all of the injuries so far in your career have been ones that you can't control, but I mean, you are human. And has it been hard for you at all to not overdo it and try to get in that zone where you feel like you have to get through a training camp fully healthy, you want to get through a season fully healthy? Is that a hard mental battle you find yourself, or are you pretty able to just keep it from what's happened in the past and just move forward?
Yeah, I try to keep my mindset a day at a time. I think that's the best way that you can handle situations like these. This has definitely been one of the most challenging parts of my life for the last several months, but you know, we're getting through it and continuing to improve, you know, mentally and physically every day. So it's definitely a challenge and a process.
Joe, as you're rehabbing an injury like this, what are the stumbling blocks? Is it pain? Is it building your wrist back up? Is it strength? What are you working through right now?
Yeah, it's all the above. There's always going to be some pain when you're coming back from injury. Throughout the rehab process, that's something that you just have to battle through if you want to come back from injuries like these. This isn't a minor injury by any means. So, you know, I've been through it with my knee. I know the pain that is involved in processes like these. I've been through it before, and we're kind of towards the end of this now, but we're going to continue to improve throughout the offseason. The wrist has good days and bad days, just like the knee did. We're still pretty early. We still got a ways till the season, so we're going to make sure that we give it the breaks that it needs. We're going to be smart about it, but on the days that I'm feeling good, I'm going to go.
Joe, does it hurt when you throw, or?
I'll keep that to myself, but whenever you have an injury, there's going to be some pain in spots.
Joe, the commissioner keeps talking about an 18-game regular season. How many even ask, is that, and is it a non-starter for players if you don't get that extra bye week that's been discussed?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we've thought about. You know, 18 games is definitely a big ask. That's not easy. Adding that extra game, obviously, it'd be great for revenue, but I feel like adding that bye week, if you're going to have the 18 games schedule, is pretty critical for our bodies, because if you keep that first bye week and then, you know, some teams have the bye week 5, week 6, and then you're going 12, 13 games in a row, that's not easy. Probably a Thursday night game thrown in there too. So that's never easy. So those 2 byes are pretty critical. Maybe you could do something like the first bye is kind of how we have it now, and the second bye everybody has it at once, and you make it like the Pro Bowl week or something, like an All-Star break for the NBA. I don't know. People that get paid a lot of money to have those discussions and make those decisions, but we'll see how it plays out.
Joe, all the injuries you've been through have plenty of people that have been through them. You know the template. Has this been more challenging because it's something kind of unique? There aren't a lot of people that have gone through this at your level before, and it makes a little bit more of the unknown, a little more unknown.
Yeah, definitely was kind of flying blind throughout the beginning of that rehab process, because I mean, I haven't found any quarterbacks that have had this before. The guys that I have talked to have been, you know, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers that didn't have to have that wrist mobility and the little intricacies of the wrist movement like I do. But you know, Nick and Matt have really done a good job of making sure that I get that motion back and our rehab has been lights out. So I've been excited about that, and I'm excited about where I'm at.
What's your understanding of kind of what your remaining risks are with it? Do you feel like you're comfortable with what those are, or know what those are, or is there points that you're looking forward to feel good about that?
Yeah, I think most of those points are behind us. We're kind of at the end of the 6 to 7 months that this is going to take, and so at this point, it's just about getting ready to play football, and it'll continue to get better. The knee was cleared after 9 months, but I didn't really start to feel normal until about a year out. So I imagine this is about how that's gonna feel. Fortunately, that coincides with the beginning of training camp, start of the season. So, like I said, we'll see where it's at when the time comes. You never know, but right now we're in a good spot.
The NFL schedule should be released relatively soon. What's it like for you when you first get to see it and kind of see how the season's going to shape up for you guys?
Yeah, I always look forward to that. That's kind of the last step of, getting ready to head into the season and knowing what you're about to face. So we'll see. I'm excited every year that comes out. We'll see.
Y'all have a pass game coordinator this offseason. How's that going to change the dynamic of the offense, and what has Justin kind of brought to y'all from the scheme standpoint?
Yeah, he's been great so far. Like I said, we're really early. We're just starting to get to know each other in that kind of way, but the working relationship has been great so far.
What was your reaction to the trade requests from Higgins and Henderson?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Those guys have their business that they need to take care of. I support them in every way. Both those guys have earned everything that's come to them and more. So I'll support them all the way through it. Whatever they feel like is best for their career, that's for them and their agents and their families to decide. But we're here to win football games. I really hope both those guys are here with us next year because we're a better football team with both of them. And they're both great locker room guys too. So they're going to do what they got to do. But when the time comes for them to come back, if that time comes, we're going to welcome them back and hit our stride.
During your rehab and strength training, how much were you looking forward to this? I mean, this is the first time you've thrown with everybody, route trees and all that sort of thing, route combination. How did it go? I mean, were you pretty satisfied with where you were putting the ball, the velocity you were putting the ball, and all those kind of things?
Yeah, that's something I'm still working through. The consistency isn't quite where I want it to be yet, but there's definitely flashes of getting better. So I'm excited about that. The next step for me is just the continued drive for consistency, for throw in, throw out, footwork every single snap. So that's something I'm still working on.
When the schedule comes up, go ahead.
When you examine Kansas City's run this past year, why they were the last team standing, what did you take away from what they did last year, Joe?
Yeah, they were great. Their defense was one of the best in the league. They have great players on that side of the ball, and then obviously they got Patrick and Travis and their O-line and those playmakers. So, they're the gold standard right now. Everybody's chasing them. Obviously, they're back-to-back world champs. Somebody's got to knock them off. I'm hoping it's us.
You talked about this being one of the most challenging times for you. What's been your why through those days where it's probably been mundane? If you wanted to get yourself your workout or your rehab, what's been your driving motivation through this whole process?
Yeah, that part has never really been a problem for me. I've always been able to get up and go to work and make sure that I'm going to be where I need to be to perform my best. That's my why is always just continuing that drive for greatness, continuing that drive every day, trying to improve. I'm addicted to getting better, and that feeling. There's nothing like the feeling of getting better, because that makes the day-to-day really worth it. Once you start to see the results of the work that you're putting in, there's nothing like that. And so that's really what I'm striving for every day.
So when the schedule comes out, people are going to be looking at that first month and how important quick that is. What do you think some of the keys are to get around the blocks quicker like you guys did in 21?
Yeah, I need to, first off, try to be out there for training camp, get as many reps as I can with the guys. I'm going to be smart about it. If I need a break, I need a break. The wrist maybe is going to hurt sometimes, and I'm going to be honest and with myself about how my body's feeling, maybe a little more cautious than I have been in years past. So that's kind of been something that's been on my mind for the last couple months. And so I'm getting better at that. It's always a challenge to not push yourself in that way, but I'm growing and learning every year, trying to be a pro and trying to figure out how to best be available for my team.
How about for the team getting out, how about for the team getting out fast?
Yeah, that's always, the goal. You want to jump out and be 6-0. That's not always how it goes. We're going to continue to get better every day during OTAs, and then we're going to come out in training camp and strive to be better every day. I think that's all that you can do. We're going to have continued focus on each rep day in and day out, and the results will take care of themselves, I think. The beginning of the season, I think we've shown, the last couple of years that you can always come back from it. We'd like to get out to a good start. I think that's always the goal, but if it doesn't happen, that doesn't mean the season's over. So however the season plays out, we're going to continue to adapt as a team and get better each day.
How you're wired and how you like to push. What's the hardest part about finding that balance to figure out when to be able to scale back and when to push so you can have that ability to grow and get better?
Yeah, I'm growing and learning how to handle my body. I think that's a continued process of learning when to push through something that you think maybe might be there, and another day you might not be feeling great, and this muscle's a little tight, like, hey, we got to take it easy today. So that's something that I'm continuing to learn. I think that's part of growing as a player and as a pro, and it's a continued process day in and day out.
Throughout the offseason, Joe, how much have you thought, if I'm only healthy, we are only basically healthy, how far we can go?
Yeah, that's every team throughout the league every year. It's everybody feels great going into week 1, and then week 8, maybe you have 7 starters down with injury, and that's part of the NFL. You're going to have years like that, and that's sometimes the luck of the draw. The years that you are healthy and that you do have your guys, you really got to take advantage of them.
When you did watch the tape back from last year, what did you walk away with?
We weren't consistent enough. We weren't explosive enough. We really weren't good enough in just about any aspect. So there's a lot of areas to improve, myself included, and across all areas of the team. So it's not like we are just sitting back and saying, if this guy was healthy, we would have got to the Super Bowl. I don't think that's the way to look at it. I think, we're striving to grow and improve every aspect of our team every year, and this year is no different.
Joe, what do you think about your offensive line? I mean, you haven't really had a chance to work with them all that much yet, but it's the biggest one in captivity, I think. I mean, you got to be 6'8", 350 right now.
Yeah.
Just a guy with it.
Yeah, they've been everything you could ask for so far. Trent's come in and really been great for us so far. He's been a presence in the locker room and in the weight room. He's in there grinding. I see him every day. So I'm excited about him. And then, I feel really good about our depth at that position this year. So, like I said, we're going to continue to try to get better. Those guys are too. Everybody is. That's what this part of the season is for, is to trying to build that chemistry amongst the team and everybody getting better individually.
You just saw you down in Miami for the race. Did you pick any of the drivers out there or talk to them?
No, I didn't get to meet any of them. Had to get back early, so I saw the start of the race and then I left. We got early practice on Monday, but I was able to see the start.
You've never had a tight end like Gesicki, 350 catch seasons. From what you can see, what will that do for you?
Yeah, Mike's been great for us. He's got a big catch radius. He's, an explosive guy that I'm excited to work with. He's been everything you could ask for on the field and off, so he's been a great addition for us.